So mainly we have the first. Let's look into the hardware. So we mainly have the hardware. So we have the motherboard, the motherboard, and then we have the RAM on which we have the RAM. Uh, then we have the SSD or the HDD, which helps us to store the data. Then we have the processor, which processes all our programs. Processor, okay, whatever the spelling. And then mainly, if you think of it, all that we require is just this. Anything that we want to run is actually just a piece of code that we run on the processor. We just may feed that into the processor, and later the processor outputs processes the program, whatever program that you have written. Maybe it's a C program or anything that we want to run. Even Visual VS Code is also a program. So that we run piece of code, feed it to the processor. The processor runs and outputs the whatever the program is supposed to do. Let's say, but if we think of it, this doesn't cover everything. Why? Because there could be multiple processes that are present. Maybe that we are running our program at the same time. This process represents that we are running some program. This process might be that I'm clicking my mouse. This might be that I'm typing something on my keyboard. So all these processes, how to make sure that which executes first or maybe in parallel. So for that we have another program written which is called the operating system or the OS, which makes sure that all these programs are taking place in a efficient manner. Maybe something is of high priority that I type on the keyboard and it must be shown quickly to the user. So that process must be fed first to the processor. So all these things are taken care by the OS. And I forgot to mention one important point here, that the program that is written, depending on the language, we will require a compiler which will compile the language and then whatever code is written and feed it to the processor. After this, now this much is actually enough for a computer to work, but we generally want that our computer is able to talk some other computer or able to use some other processor that is present on the other part of the world. So for that we have other computers running. We call it like servers, but those are just another computers where we communicate with each other, and for that we require the networking. After that, now this is also good, but after that people understand that okay, now we have the servers, but we also require to store data maybe. So for that we created DBs, so the databases. So yeah, so this mainly covers everything, DB. So yes, this is all that there is to it. This could be a queue.